Welcome to Renew and Rest the Spirit study portion of the devotional video. I thought that it would be a great idea to blend the format of the devotional video with the format of a Bible study. So while doing the devotion, I ask that God will point out particular areas where we can go even deeper and more like a study. And so today we will talk about the first area from our Caught in a Lie devotional video, which is titled The Lie of Perfection. So if you have not seen the devotional video or read the devotion, you may want to take a minute to stop now and do that first because this is going to pull directly from that. So the lie of perfection. During difficult moments or just in life, can we just take off the halo and give God full access to our hearts? Matthew chapter 26, verses 31 through 32 tells us, and this, of course, is the story of Peter as covered in the devotion. It says, "Tonight, all of you will desert me." And this is Christ talking to the disciples. For the scripture says, God will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will all be scattered. But after I have been raised from the dead, I will go ahead of you to Galilee and meet you there. Jesus was letting them know that none of them were perfect, but that he knows that, which is the reason why he was dying. Jesus literally died for our imperfections. Peter declared, "Even if everyone else deserts you, Lord, I will never desert you." Jesus replied to Peter, "Oh, yeah, you will. I tell you the truth, Peter, this very night, before the rooster crows, you will deny 3 times that you ever know me." Jesus was pointing out Peter's imperfections, but Peter rejected the truth. Peter stated, "No, even if I have to die with you, I will never deny you." If we refuse to give God full access to our hearts, he cannot grow us. If we refuse to give God access to our hearts, full access, he cannot grow us, change us, shape us, and mold us, and especially redirect our life. What was Peter's thinking error? To my clients, I often teach them about thinking errors in our thoughts. Well, for Peter, it's what we call black or white or all or nothing thinking. Peter felt that he had to be perfect or he was a failure. And he didn't realize that God was really trying to point out his imperfections because none of us are perfect. When I first got married several years ago, I've been married almost 15 years now. But when I first got married, I started off saying, I want to be the perfect wife. And it sounds good. You know, you're going in, you're all excited. I was 22 years old when we got married. And I said, I want to be the perfect wife. And as much as that sounds good, it was not good. Because instead of being the perfect wife, which was not possible, I became the defensive wife. Because every time my husband pointed out one of my imperfections, I took it as he was telling me, nope, you're not meeting the goal. Nope, you're not meeting the goal. And so God had to teach me, listen, you are to move towards perfection, but you are not to try to be the perfect wife because you won't be perfect on this side of heaven. Instead, Jesus taught me to think about how to be the wife that was willing to constantly grow. And when I started changing my self talk and started telling myself, I just want to be the wife that is willing to constantly grow, I was open to conviction. I was able to appreciate conviction. And then because of that, I actually grew. I stopped being so defensive. I started looking at what are my errors and then asking God to help change, grow, and shape me. And I can honestly tell you that 15 years later in the game, I'm a much better wife than I was in the beginning. When I thought I knew, when I was trying to be perfect. And that's how it is in life. That God doesn't need us to be perfect. That's not possible. He just needs us to be open to growth and correction so that He may have full access to our hearts to shape us. So I encourage you today to at least think about one thing in your life right now that you know you can do better. And ask God to show you how you can start putting some legs to that goal and actually trying to do better. If you're married, ask your husband or ask your wife, what is one thing that you can do to be a better wife or a better husband? Or ask your children, what is one thing that you can do to be a better parent? And actually start working towards that, opening up yourself to allow God to grow you. Especially in our current crisis, it is so important for us to remember that we just don't want to leave this COVID crisis the way we went in it. We want to make sure that we are focusing our attention on what we can actually change, and that is us. We can't change the world around us, but we most certainly can change ourselves. Be abundantly blessed.